Birthday attack is a type of cryptographic attack that belongs to a class of brute force attacks. It deploys of mathematics behind the birthday problem in probability theory. The success of this attack depends upon the higher likelihood of collisions found between random attack attempts and a fixed degree of permutations, as described in the birthday paradox problem.
Now for this part, we will be talking about the root of birthday attack, which is the birthday paradox or the birthday problem. Suppose I ask you how many people need to be in a room for two people to share the same birthday with 50% probability. What would your answer be? This is precisely what the birthday paradox is about. The paradox states the following: if there are 23 people in the room, then with 50% probability there will be two people sharing the same birthday. To understand the birthday attack even more, let us start with the probability that one person will not have the same birthday as themselves. Hence, we will get 365 divided by 365. For two people, we have 364 days to choose from. So the probability that they will not have the same sample birthday is 365 divided by 365 times by 364 divided by 365. Then for three people, we only have 363 days left, often after checking the first two people to give. Hence the following. If we have n people, then we can then write this as probability equal 1 minus 365 factorial divided by 365 to the power of n bracket 365 minus n bracket factorial. We use this in computer security to find collision in hash signatures. With hash value, we can find a collision using the birthday problem.
Modern cryptography is secure by design. However, security by design doesn't necessarily mean perfect security. If cryptography is poorly implemented or misused, Vulnerabilities can be created that a hacker can exploit. One of this is birthday attack. Avoid using the legacy 64-bit block ciphers, or 3DES algorithm is one of the best way to prevent birthday attack.
First is for the recommendation action for the birthday attack. So for the first point is stop using the legacy 64-bit block chippers, which is many of the most influential internet security protocols such as transport layer security and IPsec were standardized at a time when a 64-bit block chippers such as triple DES and Blowfish were still considered strong. So, like IPsec is most IPsec-based VPN clients support the triple DES, and in particular some version of Microsoft L2TP VPN client use a triple DES by default. So for the second point is web browsers should offer 3DES as a fallback only chipper to avoid using it with server that support AES but prefer to 3DES, which is for the 3DES, which is triple DES usage in HTTPS is triple DES is the second most widely supported chipper after AES in HTTPS servers, which is about 87% of servers supporting it. Then most of the popular web browsers support the triple DES. The chipper that is actually negotiated for a transport layer security connection is chosen by the server based on its local preference order and on the order in which the client advertises its chipper suites. And for the third one is OpenVPN users can change the chipper from the default Blowfish to AES, which is the OpenVPN is a popular open source VPN solution originally written by James Yonan. The default encryption for the transport protocol of OpenVPN is a Blowfish, which is a 64-bit chipper with the CBC mode. OpenVPN support two different modes to generate a session key to encrypt the message, which is there are two. First one is pre-shared key mode, which is a static key are used for all the traffic and there is no limit to the lifetime of those keys. And the second one is in TLS mode, transport layer security, which is session keys are generated with a transport layer security handshake using a certificate to authenticate the peers. The session keys are updated periodically. And then for the HTTPS connection, we can conclude that an important requirement for the attack is to send a large number of requests in the same TLS connection. Therefore, we need to find a client and server that not only negotiate the user of triple DES.
3DES algorithm was developed as standard for communications and data protection by an IBM research team, in response to a public request for proposals by the NBS. The basic process in enciphering a 64-bit data block and a 56-bit of 3DES uses the two basic techniques of cryptography: confusion and diffusion. At the simplest level, diffusion is achieved through numerous permutations and confusion is achieved through the ZOR operation. However, short block sizes such as 64 bits are vulnerable to birthday attacks. The birthday attack suggests that a brute force attack can be drastically reduced. Therefore, a collision attack against encryption using 64-bit ciphers can happen when around 264 has or 232 bytes of encrypted cipher text are created.